This is Adam Dunlap with MrParkour.com, and we're here with the extremely talented and world-renowned tracer Daniel Ilabaca. Daniel's traveled the world performing parkour, starring in commercials, providing consultation, and he is most recently the subject of the Beyond Human project by Lee Jones. He is here today with us to talk a little more about the project and a little more about himself and what he does. So right there, Daniel, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good, thank you.
Awesome. Would you mind, could you start us off with a little about yourself, maybe your name, your age, and what you do?
My name's Daniel Ilabaca. I'm 21 years old. I practice parkour. I've been doing it all my life, really. It's just my life, so, yeah.
Cool. Sounds good.
Cool.
Well, first thing, we want to jump right into this project, this Beyond Human project by Lee Jones.
Yeah.
And we want to know a little more about it. So how did Lee Jones contact you about it?
Well, Lee Jones is a well-known artist across the world, but he's based in Liverpool, and because I'm from Liverpool myself, he's just, I'm really not sure how he managed to find out about me, but he's just been watching my videos over the years, really, and to him, you know, that's really inspiring and stuff. He's drawn a lot of pictures of me in the past and what have you, and I don't know, it's just, I mean, he just saw me through that, really. I mean, beyond the Beyond Human project, the whole thing, a lot of the people that he's painted were chosen for him by, you know, his manager or, you know, and some other people, but from what I was told by Lee Jones, you know, he chose me, do you know what I mean? So that's a fantastic thing, really, but yeah.
And did he, did you get to meet him, or what?
I've met up with Lee Jones quite a few times. I mean, he's a really nice fella. We've had a good few conversations. He's really down to earth. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, you know, I practice parkour and so does he, but he just does it with his pencil. So, you know, we've had a good few conversations in the past.
And what made you, I guess, then want to be a part of the project? I mean, I suppose it's not something that you'd be like, well, no, I don't want you to pay me. But like, was there something that drew you to the project? Something that made you say like, oh, like, well, no, I really want to be a part of this or something?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, I got the email from my mother. I got an email saying, you know, this guy wants to pay me. I had no clue who Lee Jones was at the time, and then, you know, just researching into a lot of his work and stuff. You know, it's really, really interesting to see. You know, just to know that someone wants to pay me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's something I was really looking forward to having a look at, really. And you know, art lasts for such a long time as well, so I was just really intrigued, and you know, yeah, I was looking forward to seeing what it looked like, the finished piece.
Yeah, and how does it feel? Because there's some really famous athletes, some other ones also in this project, like Bolt and some other ones as well. How does it feel to be a part of that? Does it feel just tell me, how does that feel to be like included in a project that has Lee Jones and has some of those other athletes that he included?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it does feel amazing to know that I'm a part of, you know, this exhibition with all the other athletes. I mean, to me in my life, I see everyone has so much potential, do you know what I mean? And there's only a few that choose to realise that potential. Like, so, you know, I'm privileged to be around those people, but I kind of see that same. I don't know, everyone is capable of being whatever it is that they choose to be, really, so I just see it as a group of people that just choose to be them, really. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, that's pretty much it, really. Yeah, it's just privileged to be around those type of people, but as I said, it's just that I realise that everyone in the world has potential, and everyone is capable of whatever it is that they choose to put their mind to, really, so for me, it's you know, yeah, it's just good.
Yeah. And tell us this then. Then we'll segue into kind of the next thing we wanted to talk about. You put your mind to parkour, right? Is that what you call it, or what do you call what you do?
What do I call what I do?
Yeah.
I mean, like many people have said it in the past, like Bruce Lee, Sebastian, and people like that, they just called it the way, which kind of makes sense because it is just a basic discipline of life, really, for me, parkour. It's not just the movement that I find, you know, that I get happiness out of. It's living for today and making the most of it, and moving is a very good way of cherishing the moment, really. So that's why, you know, I love moving, and that's why parkour to me is everything. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, it's like you're washing the dishes, you just wash the dishes, you practice washing. It's like parkour helps you to realise every moment is special in whatever action that you're doing, really. So.
Okay, so then that'd be why you do it then. Or that's like...
Well, yeah, that's what I did. I mean, in the beginning, it was a way... Parkour was a way for me to find myself, but now that I've found myself, I realise that happiness doesn't come from doing the movements. It comes from living for today, and that's all that matters, and realising that you know, everything that you do in your life is a choice. You either choose to fall or you choose not to fall. Do you know what I mean? In the beginning, you know, over the years, I've fallen so many times in my life, physically and mentally. But all that I've learned from. Do you know what I mean? And I rarely ever fall anymore. I mean, I'm totally free, I'm totally free because I make every choice, every action, every moment that I'm in, I make a choice. I would choose to fall or choose not to fall, really. So, I mean, what it all comes down to is choice, isn't it? You know, so yeah, choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then, what do you call yourself? Like, I mean, if someone said, "What are you, Daniel?" Like, what would you say?
That's a really tricky question. I'm just a person. I mean, it's really strange because this past year, I've learned. There's so many things that I've started to learn about myself and other people around me. It's just that I just don't like to be separated from anyone else. I mean, people look at me as if I'm something more than what they are, and that kind of restricts me to what I feel I'm capable of, because to me, I'm just normal. Do you know what I mean? It's just my life. I'm living my life, and I'm not, you know, letting anything restrict me in any way. So it's just, I mean, it's really hard to get my head around it when people look at me as if I'm something more than they are, really. Because as I said, to me, I'm just a person that is just, you know, living for the moment, loving the day, and making the choices that I want to make. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that's pretty much it, really.
That's good. Tell me this then. What does to get where you are, Daniel? You must train a lot. I guess that'd be the thing that people assume. So I guess the question is, what does training mean to you? How do you train?
Quite a lot of years it has been about training, it has been about conditioning, it has been about all those things, but it's almost as if conditioning and training is as if I'm trying to prepare myself for tomorrow or the next day. But as I said, I've come to a point now in my life where I realise that today's that all we have. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily training to me anymore. I mean, you can't call your life training, it's just your life. Do you know what I mean? You go out and you live it, really. So when I say that I'm going out, I don't say that I'm going out to train, I just say that I'm going out, or I'm going out to play, because it is just playing with reality. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As I said, I don't really, in the eyes of people that practice parkour, I actually don't practice parkour that much, to be honest, because I know that I don't need to move to progress. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I could literally sit on a pavement the whole day and learn so much more in the day of sitting on that pavement than if I was trying to fit as much as I could into my day, because I realise that, you know, progression doesn't come with time of practice. It comes with the moments of choice and belief within yourself, really. And that's, I mean, obviously you've got to get to a point where you have a good physical shape, but, you know, once you have that body and that, you know, you're physically capable, you know, there's nothing that you cannot do, and it's not something that you have to. For myself, I don't personally train every single day. Well, I do, but just not in movements. I mean, as I said, when I was talking about washing the dishes, it's like, you know, it's being aware of every action and everything that you're doing, and just, yeah, you know, just being aware, really. So, I mean, like, my life is my training. You know, I could be sitting down and just watching people, or I could just, you know, be drawing, or I could be doing so many different things. But to me, everything is parkour. Do you know what I mean? It is my training. So, and when I choose to do parkour and go out and jump around, it's like, I don't think to myself, you know, oh, but I haven't trained all this week. Do you know what I mean? I'm not capable of doing this. You know what I mean? It's a choice. Yeah, I mean, every day is a constant battle, really. So, yeah, I just make the choice not to listen to all those negative thoughts and just to stay happy, really. Because, as I said, even emotion's a choice as well. So, yeah, that's pretty much it, really.
That's good. Well, tell me about this. What about do you still have like goals, or as far as your training goes? Like, do you still have? Are you still trying to progress, or what would be like the hole in your game, so to speak? What would you say? Like, oh, I'm really trying to improve this. Like, is there anything you're trying to improve? Like, you said you could sit on the pavement all day and still learn something, but is there something you're still trying to learn, or still something you're trying to accomplish physically?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're learning every single day. I mean, I wouldn't really say there is a specific thing that I'm trying to learn. I'm just open to a lot of things that. Sorry, yeah, I just got distracted. Sorry, yeah, I'm just open to a lot of things, and yeah, I'm not really striving. I mean, there's no goals that I've set for myself, really. I just, you know, there used to be a lot of things that I was wanting to do in my life, but I mean, none of those things are going to make me happy. You know, none of them. Not, you know, like, I've been to so many places around the world, and you know, they're all beautiful, and I really cherish those moments. But you know, it's like we choose to be happy with physical things, we choose to be happy with money, we choose to be happy with these things, and I don't know, I'm just loving, I don't know, I'm just loving today, to be honest. So that's all I can really say. Yeah.
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 Well, that's great. Is there With that said, 'cause I think maybe you take, it sounds like you take a more, I mean, for lack of a better word, maybe a more laid back approach. I think a lot of people are like train, like accomplish. And maybe that's because of the level you've reached physically and mentally, but maybe it's just
well, it
your character.
Realization. I mean, so many people can spend their whole life asleep, and I just feel personally that the truth, what we're all searching for has been there from the beginning. I mean, it's right there in front of your face, but we just don't see it because we have, so many things in our head that just block us from seeing the truth, really. And I've just kind of, it's taken me 9 years to realise that the answers, do you know what I mean, to myself, and to know that I'm capable of whatever it is I put my mind to, like, and just to be happy, really. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I used to sit in an office, and I used to work, and when I was younger, I was like, I've got to get out of this. I want to practice parkour. I want to try and find myself, and I've got to a point now where I'm just happy. As I said, I found the answers that I've been looking for, and I'm more than happy to work in a chip shop for the rest of my life. A fish and chip shop, or painting and decorating, or whatever, because I just choose to be happy. I've found the answers that I've been looking for, really. Yeah.
Okay. Then with that said, what do you because that's a very, very positive thing, I think, and a very positive thing of parkour is it's not necessarily about the movement, or it's not necessarily about accomplishing this jump or doing this trick, whatever, but finding yourself and finding happiness. Where do you see yourself? With that said, what do you see yourself doing in 10 years, or where do you see yourself being in 10 years?
I would like to see myself, just as I said, again, living every day and choosing to be happy, but also being around, because there's so many people in the world that practice parkour, but just to be around everyone without everyone having negative thoughts about each other, everyone having different views, it doesn't really matter. And just the fact that everyone can respect each other's views and just all train together. I'd like to be able to see, a day where we're just all, we literally, like, there's a massive group of people where we don't even have to talk to each other. We can literally just, we can talk to each other through movements. We can express ourselves through movements, you know what I mean? Which is what, in the UK, it is, it's gotten to a point in parkour in the UK where when people meet up for gatherings, we actually don't really talk at all. We just move, do you know what I mean? And so many, there's so many places across the world, there are still people that are applauding people when they do movements, and giant jams where people are like standing around one person who's ready to do this big jump or something. It's kind of like we just got past that point now. We're all just, because we realise there is no big and small. Do you know what I mean? Everything is a choice. As I said, life is a battle, and it's like you need to learn to not apply onto you what the last generation applied onto them from that generation. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's learning to make your own choice in the moment that you're in, really. So. I don't know, there is no big and small, and I'd like to be able to know that in 10 years from now that I can move along with everyone without having any negative thoughts in my head of how they think of me, or, what I think of them, or anything like that. I'd just like to be able to just live life, really, so, yeah. I mean,
that's great.
There's a lot going, in my life at the moment, there's a lot going on. You've got this thing with MTV that will be happening soon with the WFPF and all this crap, so many people talk about how, there's so many, there's so much stuff on the forums with people being so negative about it. In some sense, it does, on the internet, it does look like it's going to be like a new urban free flow. But it's, and I agree, because it does seem as if it's about that. And the guy that we're working with to do this TV program is like, well, it's about moving parkour forward. It's like a shark. If it stops swimming, it'll die. It's got to keep moving forwards. And I said to him, you're right for what you're saying. Parkour does have to keep moving forwards, but it has to be everyone's decision, not just a group of people. Do you know what I mean? So this thing that's going on with MTV, hopefully we're going to have a conference soon in London or somewhere. We'll let everybody in the world know about this conference, and it'll just be good for everyone to come down and just talk about where we should go with parkour, really, because it isn't. If we're moving ahead with parkour without everyone else knowing, it's kind of like we're doing it for our own benefit, for our own self-gain, and it's like, that's wrong, do you know what I mean? Because it's not ours, it's everyone. So this is why I believe this conference would be such an important thing to have, really. But also, with this thing happening with MTV, it's gonna reach a bigger audience, and it's gonna help change so many other people's lives as well. Just Jump London affected, the UK, and then across Europe, and now, across the world and what have you. I just see it as a good opportunity to spread the message of parkour, really. I'm totally not interested with money or any